Well, hello there everybody and welcome back to GAVRA Racing Season 4 of GT3. GT3 returns for another year once again. Hard to believe, it's Season 4 already. Very excited to be back. GAVRA Racing is back once again. I'm excited to be back in the commentary box. It's been a while since I've been here. Very happy to be back once again for Season 4. I started back in Season 2 and hard to believe that we're already as far as we are in Season 4. We're here in the Algarve, we're in Portugal for round number 1 here. First time we've ever used this track in GAVRA Racing, so it's a historic event. Algarve, it's a very, very interesting circuit. It's very, very up and down, if you know what I mean, kind of undulating type track, and a very, very, very nice last corner. Big, big, long right-hander that can be taken almost flat in these cars. But, yeah, we are watching a couple of guys going around now. We're looking at Alessio going around in the in the NSX, actually. I almost said Honda, it's actually Acura, if I want to be correct. I didn't actually spot that in the lobby, but it is Alessio in the Acura. So if we can get a run through the drivers who are here today. We've got Vector on the cameras. You won't be able to hear him, but he is here. There is Matacake, one of our directors. He's driving around in the McLaren this season, so best of luck to him. He's usually in the background. Here's Matteo, the Italian, driving in the Italian car, the Ferrari 488. And then we have Madman Sam, a familiar face to all you guys, drove in Season 3. He's driving the Renault RS01 this season. Very interesting car. There is his teammate Pete Bibb, one of the new boys in the Nvidia liveried RS01. We have Pancho, fresh out of the academy in the Acura NSX as well, Project Cars 2 liveried car. And we have Jacopo, who's in the pits right now. He's in the Porsche 911R, 911R, yeah. I almost said RSR, it's not quite correct, but it is the 911R. Oldrom, his teammate, he's in the yellow 911. Lonnie, he is in the R8 LMS, the new one from this season. His teammate, I believe, is Marcos, but there is Ibruch, a familiar face to you all as well. Has been here since I was here pretty much. He's been here before that, but I remember him from my early seasons. So he's teammates with the car of... I've forgotten his name already, and I'm going to come back to that. But It Forgets driving the M6 GT3, one of the new cars added, as well as the Ferrari. So It Forgets, he's out of the academy as well. So welcome to him in his first season. Hiker was here last season as well. There he is, his teammate in the M6 GT3, and quite an interesting car to drive, that one as well. We got 6 minutes of qualifying. Or is this... It could be practice, but it is practice. Okay, just making sure. But yeah, there's Alessio once again in the Acura NSX. And there is Marcos, Lonnie's teammate in the R8 LMS. Beautiful looking car. Oh, he's gone a bit deep there. So just finding the boundaries, warming those tyres up. It is very hard to get these tyres warmed up. And there is one of the fastest drivers in the GAVRA Racing. There is Ferrari driving the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 this season. His teammate Cash isn't here. We don't know where he is. But yeah, Ferrari, he was... I guess you all know him at this point, at this stage. He was teammates to Cash. Cash did win the championship last season, but Ferrari was Formula B champion in previous years, but it's good to have him back in the car once again. I am extremely triggered, by the way, because they're driving for the Ferrari B team, and of course he's in a bloody Lamborghini. So I'll have to question that as to why he's in a Lamborghini, but I guess the cars were done by lotteries. We've got a car going around, and believe that is one of our more familiar guys. Hio, he's also a director, and he's also made an overlay for us, which we'll be using in future streams, but it just ironing out some audio glitches right now. But there he is driving the McLaren 650S, teammates with the other director, Matacake. So it's good to have him fresh out of the academy. Absolutely dominated it. And we got Pete in the pits there. Matacake driving the very nice papaya orange McLaren 650S. We've got a car going around at the exit of the last corner. That was an RS01. And I actually have forgotten to get the chat up on my phone, so I'm going to do that right now. Marco's letting some cars through there. And, well, this is free practice, so cars are just kind of getting themselves warmed up. We've got guys running in the slipstreams of each other up there. Nice to see. We got, I think it's Matteo is currently quickest with a 145, but again, then Ferrari 7/10 up on his previous best. going very, very quickly indeed. The Lamborghini, also a new addition to the game. Plenty of Italian cars they added, Ferrari and Lamborghini, but it runs the same V10 engine as the Audi R8, as an M6 goes off at the top of the hill right there, and that seems to be one of the new guys. It Forgets, of course, and I'm just going to get the chat up on my phone right now. Here's Pancho coming through the final corner. And there's me coming through my phone. Isn't that nice? Don't you like to hear my voice all the time? Pancho comes across the line. And where does that put him? He's currently 8th fastest at the moment in the Acura. Not the fastest car, but with a good setup it could be. But hello to Rip It Up and all the guys in the chat right now. Here's Ibrich going wide in Sector 1. That is a blind corner. It's very easy to get wrong. So they'll be watching that as well. It is very easy to go off on this track because of how kind of up and down it goes. Matteo goes quickest with 144.9, excuse me. Alessio running in the slipstream of Pirelli right now, so he's using him to his advantage. And yeah, hello to everybody in the chat. Fabrizio Rivera, hello to all those guys. I think Fabrizio is actually Sig, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But it's always nice to see a nice big variety of cars here today, unlike previous GT3 seasons where, well, I mean, GT4 a couple of years ago was literally just Ginettas at one point. But GT3 last season was A and B, the groups would focus on different cars. Group B, mainly the Corvette. But your current running order is Matteo, followed by Hayo, followed by Lonnie and Hiker. But Alessio, he's coming through, and It Forgets is going down Sector 1 right now. Nice helicopter shots from the helicopter up above us right now. Gets on the brakes for the hairpin. Easy to get wrong here. Gentle on the power on the way out. And then he's going to get himself into position for the next corner, which is flat out left into a... not really a sharp braking zone, but a slight tap on the brakes, followed by going down the gears once again, getting it turned in. Careful not to get on the power too early. You'll see plenty of drivers spinning around there. He's going to back out, I think, because he is actually getting a little bit of traffic. Can we just take a moment to appreciate 2nd, 3rd and 4th? They're all within about 100th of each other. That is incredible. They've all done 45.3, 45.3, 45.4, but they're all within a tenth of each other. That is how close it's looking right now. But Matteo is showing good pace right now. Also Hiker, he's also impressing at the moment. Hayo, again, was very quick in Academy. But it is actually Matty Cake, would you believe, going quickest at the moment. He's won 44.4 in the McLaren 650. It's a different one to last year. It was the MP4-30, I think. But it is the 650S. It was in Assetto Corsa as well, and very, very nice car to drive as he gets a little bit of an oversteer moment there. But we can assume during free practice that we won't see the true pace of drivers until we get into qualifying. We've got just under 30 seconds left, and unlike the previous game, you can actually finish your lap when the timer's gone over. Yeah, so, well, Matacake's currently down on his time, but he is 4 tenths faster than the man in second, which is Matteo. Marcos, we're going to be looking out for him as well. He's showing good pace in testing before, and he is in a very nice liveried Audi R8 LMS, which is, well, Ibrich, there you have it, pops in front with a 144.0. So the Ferrari going quickest, and I believe actually the Ferrari team is an all-Italian team this year. So if we get to Monza, they're going to be the ones to watch. But yeah, Ibrich, he's been in a lot of previous seasons. For Season 2, a lot of very consistent in Season 2. But we have just, well, 100 seconds left of qualifying, not qualifying, practice. And we'll get to see Matt. He goes a bit wide there. The race steerers will look at that, but if you don't exploit it too much, they're not going to care much, really. And across the line comes Matt, and he does not improve on that lap. And we're looking at Matteo. Well, we're looking at the ground, but then there we are. We're looking at Matteo now as he comes across the line. I had a small race with him earlier. He was quite quick. I was handling the back of him, but he still pulled away. You can see the AI takes control of the cars there as we look at It Forgets getting the slipstream off of the Renault RS01 ahead. And pulls out of the slipstream and goes second quickest, so that really helped him there. It Forgets, fresh out of Academy. And a good lap from the M6 actually, so the M6 looking good pace. Madman Sam, of course, in that RS01. So I think we just have... The Porsches decided to come out for once and go straight back in, but we're pretty much just waiting for the end of practice now. And the field is quite close, closer than I thought, and I hope that we can have a very, very close qualifying. If we remember back to Formula C, where we had the two leaders at Imola setting the exact same lap time. But 20 seconds left of practice before we head into qualifying here in the Algarve in Portugal for the first time in GAVRA Racing history. This is, of course, the first GT3 championship to be held on Project Cars 2. And, well, the season kicked off this Tuesday, with Formula Renault at Brands Hatch, and that was a very, very interesting race. So there's confirmation of your practice right there. It was Ibrich, It Forgets, followed by Maticake, Matteo, Hiker, Ferrelli, Hayo, Alessio, Lonnie, Old Rome, Jagpo, Pancho, Pete Bib, Madman Sam, and Marcos. And that rounds out your 15 driver grid here, which is probably the biggest grid we've had in a while. Here we are, 30 minutes of qualifying here. I guess they need it for GT3. It takes a while to get tyres up to temperature, etc., etc. But then, as Fabrizio says, well, we had 9 4/1000ths of a second in Formula Renault. Yeah, I guess that was close. You could call that close. I hope it's closer here, as the drivers head out onto track for the first qualifying session in GT3 here today. Matteo heads out on track in the Ferrari, and his teammate is just ahead of him, which is Ibrich, and Pete Bibb leads the field out in the Renault RS01, which was in its own class in Project Cars, but then was moved into the GT3 section. A very, very interesting car. It's a 7-speed gearbox, sequential gearbox in that thing. But, yep, here comes the Swede Hiker out onto the track in his Ochi Racing liveried M6 GT3. His teammate is in the black version of this car. So it'd be nice to, as you can see right there, It Forgets right on cue, comes out of the pit lane. And all of these cars are actually, all the liveries you see, most of them anyway, are actual real-life liveries. You can see the Blancpain and Pirelli series liveries that you'll see on these cars, which is great to see. Cars getting actual liveries. Ferrari, there he is in the Pertamina liveried lime green. If you couldn't miss him if you wanted to. There he is in the Lamborghini Huracan, which is an insane car on the road, and it's an even more insane car in GT3. And there we are, Pete Bibb in the Nvidia livery. It's pretty much the same livery as it was in the previous Project Cars there. RS01, and he gets just getting out of the way of a few cars there as the Porsche 911 comes through there, the green liveried one. And Lonnie in the R8 heads out. Everyone is out on track apart from Alessio. And, well, I say that, everybody's out on track right now. There's Old Rome in the 911R, which is a new addition to the game, as well as Madman Sam has actually left the session. I guess that's a disconnect. That's a shame for him. He should be able to get back in. Well, you can get in. You can get in until the end of qualifying. There's no way for that. But Pete Bibb, we're on board as he runs down towards turn number 1. It is actually a double first corner, you could call it. You get into the right, followed by, you can take this corner flat right here before you get hard on the brakes. We'll go down to second gear here, and gently on the power before you get up to the blind apex. You're going to lift slightly. He lifted a bit too late for that corner there. Madman Sam has returned. Before you drop down the hill and get hard on the brakes for this hairpin right here. It is deceivingly tight. Gets on into first gear, gets on the power, running through the gears up to 100 miles an hour, turns fast left here before we drop down into this right-hander and hard on the brakes once again. It's a tough corner, this. It's very easy to spin, get on the power too early, and you're going around before we head into this flat left-hander. Is an awesome corner, this. You take the corner completely flat, and you can't see the corner up ahead. You drop down a gear right here, lift off, let the car just roll through as much as you can before you just glance the curve there, and another flat out left-hander. You can see how much this track goes up and down before getting hard on the brakes, deceivingly tight hairpin this as well. Get the car turned, very easy to understeer. He gets through very well there before we get to another tight right that just keeps going and going and going and going before we gets hard on the power. And then we get into this beautiful last corner. You just completely flat. You can have a small lift and then just go hard on the power before you reach the end of the Algarve circuit. That was a lap on board with the Renault RS01 of Pete Bibb, and he's probably going to set the benchmark here. Well, he's going to have a Ferrari right up his chuff here. Well, that was the outlap for them. But it is Ibrich who goes quickest with a 145.5, not the quickest we've seen. Oh, they've made contact. Now, that's not what we'd like to see. Some words may be had. Hiker goes second quickest actually there in the M6 GT3. 0.2 of a second behind. We are going to see lap times increase. Well, get quicker, of course. I'm just interested to see how Ferrari goes. He's gone third quickest, 145.9. Ibrich goes, it forgets 144.0. Bang! Straight out of the bag. That is already quicker than we've seen in free practice. He's a second quicker. Then we have Lonnie going fifth quickest. So a few people just getting their eye in right now. Of course, he's driving the car driven by Lauren Van Toor in the Blanc Pan series, who's famous for flipping upside down and grinding the whole way down the middle of Macau. So that's how I know that livery, simply by just him sliding upside down for about half a kilometer. Let's see how our fellow director gets on. I think he says he's running ABS, but you can't really fault him for that. We're seeing some great shots here by the helicopter, actually. The overhead shots are brilliant as he gets on the power. I never actually realised how huge that rear wing is on that 650S, and you can just see the diffuser working to get kind of get the vortexes running underneath the car and getting a sit down on the road. He's 1.2 seconds up on his quickest so far. That car looks very, very planted on the road. Looks very nice. Kicks a bit of gravel up. And of course with Live Track 3.0, that's going to actually affect it. If you kick gravel up, it's going to stay on the track and will affect grip. And also, if it rains, there's going to be puddles. Great shots as the drone goes across here. As Matteo goes second quickest with a 144.8. But still 0.8 of a second off. He's driving Giancarlo Fisichella's Ferrari, actually. That livery. But we're keeping an eye on Maticake here. And Ferrari actually just went quickest there, 143.7, so he's now pulled it out of the bag. So there is Ferrari's pace being shown there. He's the first man to go into the 43s, keeping an eye on our director here. Papaya Orange McLaren, 130 miles an hour on the exit here, clipping that curb very, very nicely indeed. And we come to the line. Hyo's third quickest. And let's see where our fellow director goes. He's going to go into first position by 0.04 of a second. Maticek said he didn't have a lot of pace here. I think he's lying. I think he was trying to protect his setup, I think. But great lap, 143.7, same as Ferrari, essentially 0.04 of a second quicker. And that is essentially the distance from the front bumper to the middle of the wheel arch. That's how much that is right there. It forgets he's currently third quickest, 0.2 of a second off. First, the top five separated by just about a second there, so it's very close indeed. Ferrari is going to have to pull something out of the bag to get himself up there. Of course, there is still 22 minutes left of this qualifying session here. It's quite a long qualifying session. We'll see how the Acuras get on. They're not the quickest cars, but I'm interested to see how Pancho gets on. He's currently 6th fastest with that lap. And these, let's see, the Acura, of course, another addition to the game. Plenty of GT3 cars added this season. Let's see how Pancho gets on here as he comes across the line. The line is quite a bit down the straight. It's just here. He'll come across the line, and it is no improvement. So he must have had a spin somewhere. How's Ibrich getting on? He's currently 8th quickest. He can definitely go quicker than that. A very experienced driver is Ibrich. He's been in a couple of GT3 seasons, and always just about there, hanging in with the leaders. So let's see how he gets on here in the Algarve in the Ferrari. Interesting to see how he handles the new game, and just see how quick this Ferrari is in a straight line. I mean, that's consistency for you. He's 1,000th of a second slower than his best lap. That's as best as you can get. Hayo moves out of the way very nicely for Pirelli, who are just going to seamlessly join in and watch him go on a lap here. Well, he's currently 0.6 of a second down, so I don't know how he's going to pull that back. But Jacopo, here he is, fresh out of the academy as well, in the Porsche, number 912. As a nice little backfire we hear from the Porsche engine there. Very distinctive engine sound these Porsches have. You just hear it going through absolutely flat right there. See what the Porsche's pace is like here, as he rolls it through the right-hander there. Let's see how far he can get himself up. He's currently 13th, but I'm sure he can get himself a little bit further up than that. But it is interesting to see the first 13 drivers are separated by, well, first 11 are separated by about 2 seconds, which isn't a lot. In reality, it isn't a lot. But then again, it is a lot in qualifying terms. But I mean, in race terms, you could certainly get yourself up there. So let's see, Jacopo across the line. We're gonna see how fast the Porsche is in a straight line. It definitely isn't as quick as the Ferrari, as we can see. Comes across the line, and he's not as quick. And we're seeing the R8 come across the line in the background as well. His teammate comes out. That's Old Rome out of the pits. Marcos, where is he? He's 6th quickest at the moment. And Old Rome is on an outlap at the moment, as far as I'm aware. And interesting to see how he gets on. Madikeka, he's just running off the track there. He's come back into the pit lane. It forgets impressing. Ibrich, I think, just went 4th quickest, actually, there. He's half a second off. It is quite close. It's closer than I thought it'd be. So it's interesting to see that Pirelli isn't... he's right there, but it is interesting to see that the new guy, Madikeka, is putting the fight to him. It'll certainly be interesting when we get to the race. We're looking at Ibrich right now. He's only 0.2 of a second off of pole. And I'm sure he's going to be one fighting up the front. In this race, he's half a second down currently in his split times. It forgets. How is he getting on? Coming through the final corner. The low grunting sound of the V8 engine in that M6 comes across the line. Where is he going to go? He he actually did improve, actually, as far as I can see. Yes, he did. He went 3rd quickest. He improved his time slightly, so that made him, I think, very slightly improved it by, as far as I can see. But he's still 0.2 of a second off of the guy in front, which is Pirelli. Big backfire off the BMW. Here comes Old Rome. He's got some rear-end damage on that car, actually, so he's been in the wall. He's been in the wars, and we're seeing some Porsche team tactics right here. He's getting a slipstream off of his teammate, and I think he's about to begin a lap, as far as I can see. And also Jacopo should be about to begin one as well. So the teammates are going to be using each other, but he doesn't want to get too close, so the dirty air starts to affect him. But yes, indeed, Hayo 5th quickest right now, so the top 6 are now separated by 1 second. So we're keeping an eye on all those gaps, of course. There is Matteo coming across the line. Where is he currently? I believe he's currently 6th quickest, indeed. And his teammate's currently 3rd quickest. So the only 2 men to have gone into the 143s are currently Madikeka and Pirelli. Excuse me. Madman Sam in a train of cars here. He's following he's following Hayo currently, who pulls over and lets him through. So Madman Sam, he hasn't set a lap yet in that Renault. And be an interesting car to see how it gets on. It's sort of new into the GT3 season, so we're going to see how it gets on. I'm interested to see what kind of pace it does actually have. I've seen a video of Max Verstappen bombing his dad around Spa in one of these. Indeed. It Forgets did improve. So he's now only a tenth of a second off as Madman Sam goes for a spin at the top of the hill. And gets that car stopped as how gets out of the way as well. No damage done there, just kind of dented his pride slightly. He'll get that car going again. And seamlessly switching into Matacake, who's currently P1 at the moment. And we're now halfway through this qualifying session. So drivers will probably also be doing some race runs as well to see how the car holds up. And Ibrich fastest by 200ths of a second. It's so close up the front, this is crazy. In GT3 cars, the top 4 are separated by just under 0.2 of a second. Top 3 separated by under 1/10 of a second. So this is madness what we're seeing here. Ibrich currently quickest. It's good to see him back fighting up the front once again. Fighting for pole position, Matacake followed by Ferrari. As far as I can see, 3 different manufacturers up the front. Ferrari and Lamborghini and McLaren. Oh, we got a spinner right there. That is another spinner. That I believe that looks like an Acura. So that's either Pancho or one of those. It is Pancho indeed, the Acura NSX. Or was it? No, it was actually the other one. That was Pancho Ball is currently in Sector 1. Well, timely, I just got my popcorn delivered. So, I've got some food for the race, and I can actually say my catchphrase with popcorn in my mouth. Lovely. So, Pete Bibb coming in the pit lane. I don't think manual pit stops are enabled for this. Madman Sam, he's got himself back up and running again, so he's trying to get himself on the board at least. If at the moment he's currently sitting in 15th position, which is not where he wants to be. He was up fighting, could have won the championship last year in Group B in GT3, but had a few mistakes, but he did pull himself back in the last couple of races to win a couple of those races. Drove the McLaren MP4 last season and has switched to Renault for this season. So let's see how he gets on. His teammate is currently 14th, but let's see how Madman Sam can do in this brand new car, brand new team, brand new season. Just see that section of the track looks like it's just been resurfaced actually, so that might play a little bit in grip, and he's going to come across the line to start a lap. He might have have it invalidated. There you can see the 7th gear being in use there. Kick of oversteer, and Pancho's coming through to set another lap. He's currently 7th quickest. Can he pop himself in front of Matteo perhaps? Let's see where he can go. He's going to get no improvement that lap for him. It Forgets. A man to watch. He could, yeah, that could be true actually. Yeah, he could actually be glitched. That happened to Dan. With his Dan Z. That happened to him in one of the test races. He actually didn't show up, so he could be up the front. We just don't know because he's glitched. So we'll find out in due course. Let's see if It Forgets can get himself any further up that grid than he is. He's doing really well at the moment. 4th quickest in the BMW. But Hayo 5th quickest at the moment. He's currently slightly up, so he's looking to improve his lap time here. So coming through Sector 2 is where we are right now. He's coming across the Sector 2 split, moving into Sector 3. His oil is very hot actually, you might want to watch that. He's running a high fuel as well, so that will affect his runs, of course. Here he comes. Beautiful shot there as he comes through the final corner in that sort of midnight blue coloured McLaren 650S. Where can Hayo? Can he get himself a little bit further, or can he just improve his lap time just slightly? No, he can't. It's 1/10 of a second slower. Matteo, he's currently 6th quickest in the Ferrari. His teammate's currently P1, but only just. We've 12 minutes left of this qualifying session here in the circuit, in the Algarve in Portugal. And the first time that GT3 in the GAVRA Racing has been here. Of course, you may have noticed that the channel name was actually changed to GAVRA Racing because that is actually the name of the league. a year and a half I've been here, and that's actually the proper name, and I didn't actually know that. Whoops. But I've changed the name, I've changed the Twitter, and we now have an Instagram page if you'd like to follow that. That's GAVRA Racing, all one word. Give us a follow there. So if you want to catch up with some nice shots from the races, we'll get a few here off the streams perhaps, and we'll see how we get on there. Hiker we haven't seen. Where is he? 9th position. He's been kind of quiet. Just eating a bit right now, getting my daily dosage of popcorn. Alessio comes across the line, and he goes a little bit faster. He goes 6th quickest, actually, so he gets himself in front of Hayo. 5th and 6th for Pancho and Alessio right now, so the NSX is doing quite well, isn't it? What can Hayo do about this? He needs to get himself up with his teammate, if he can at all. But you gotta say, it is very, very interesting. Everyone is pretty much separated by just under 2 seconds, which is closer than I ever thought it would be, to be honest. So hello to Matteo, bang in the wall. That is quite a significant impact in the Armco barrier there. That is just coming up in sector 1. That's just after the long left. So yeah, I was saying hello to Suki in the chat there. So Matteo pushing a little bit too hard. Marcos, he's 10th of a second slower. He's down in 9th actually. I didn't think he'd be that far down, but he is where he is. And let's see how he gets on in the race. Matty lets Ferrelli through. We've got 10 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. What can Ferrelli do in the number 63 Lamborghini? Driving for Ferrari B in a Lamborghini. Hello to Sealizer, one of the new boys in the commentary team, as Ferrelli loses the back end at the top of the hill. We've seen plenty of drivers doing that. Now, be careful he doesn't pull across on Matty. He gets that done well, so pushing a bit too hard, a little bit eager on the throttle there. Matty wants to make sure he starts in that front row. Ferrelli doesn't want to be down further than he needs to be. As we hear the backfire off the Lamborghini. He'd forget to get himself any further up. He's really, really impressing me at the moment, because that M6 is not really a quick car, but with a setup it looks like it's very, very good indeed. So in this kind of first round we're actually seeing how the cars are shaping up versus one another. So always interesting to see that. And it is Ferrari followed by McLaren, followed by Lamborghini, followed by BMW, followed by Acura. So that shows you the top 5 are all different manufacturers, which is awesome to see. Completely different from the last previous seasons where everyone was pretty much in a Corvette. So, great job by GAVRA and by Raising and everyone who organised the championships to get everybody into different cars and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see so much variety here. So, hello, as I said, hello to everybody in the stream. If you are enjoying, make sure to leave a like on the video and make sure to subscribe. We actually need to say thank you to you all. We just crossed 250 YouTube subscribers, and if you want to follow the Twitter as well, that is GAVRA Racing @official GAVRA. Old Rome, he's done some plastic surgery to his car. I can see he's got quite a flat face on the back. And he's lost the back end, and around he goes and straight into the pit lane. So, I have to say that Ferrari is very, very quick in a straight line from what I can see. He was just doing 160 at the bottom of the straight. Pete Bibb, where is he? 14th. Hasn't really managed to set a quick lap and doesn't look like he's going to go any quicker, if I'm honest. So perhaps this car just not suiting him at the moment. Hayo, 8th quickest at the moment. It just shows you how little of a gap you need to go further down the grid. I mean, if you're a second slower, you're down in 11th. It's crazy how close we are. Half a second slower, you're down in 5th or 6th. Can Hayo get himself any further up close to his teammate? He has said he has been sharing the setup with his teammate, so they are running pretty much the same. And we should actually mention if there are any reserves in the coming races, as in some drivers may not make it. They may have a driver fill in for them. Those drivers will start at the back of the grid so as not to gain an advantage. That is how it's going to work this season. 6 minutes remain. Hiker goes quicker than he did, so that brings him within about 0.04 of a second of the Porsche. That is how close it is. It forgets getting slipstream. Doesn't help him though. So we're starting to see it's a little bit more frantic out on track. Can Uberich get him to go any faster? No, we can't. Oh, that is Pete. I think that might be Matt Van Sam or Pete Bibb going off. I think it's Pete. No, it's Matt Van Sam because he's out on track. So, Matty was lucky not to get caught up in that. And Matt Van Sam, we think he's glitched, so we don't actually know how quick he is going. Which is unfortunate. He might have to get out of the way if it forgets who's on a lap right now. Which he isn't doing. And it forgets he's putting on his lights to let him know he's there. So, interesting. He might have to back out of this one because he is getting traffic. Well, just keep an eye on this. This might be interesting in the future just to see if we can... Because this can be an issue with drivers maybe not moving out of the way when they're supposed to, when they know somebody else is quicker. It forgets, I think he's backing off from that driver. Yes, he is. Just trying to get himself a bit of space. Pancho doing quite well in that Acura NSX. So, it's good to see him up in the top 5 there. He was very good in Academy, from what I could see. And driving that well. Here comes Alessio. And Lonnie popped in front of him, actually. I didn't actually notice that, but Lonnie did put the R8 into 6th by 0.02 of a second. So the Algarve is proving that it is so close, in reality. Everybody's really close, within a couple of tenths of each other. Old Rome, currently 10th. He's only 0.04 of a second quicker than Hiker in 10th. But can he get himself perhaps in front of the Ferrari of Matteo, who is in 9th currently? Matteo, of course, drove in LMP3. Well, he's currently 0.07 of a second quicker than his previous in Sector 2. Or end of Sector 1, sorry. We're just right on board as he comes through. Sector 2, he's following in the slipstream of Pete Bibb. As we go inside into the brand new driver's eye technology that we have, using IndyCar, of course. We decided we're going to get on board with that, so we're going to literally ride on board with them in the driver's helmet here. Very close to his previous lap time. You can see how much he's gaining on Pete Bibb here. Let's see if Pete moves out of the way. Oh, that's definitely a little bit of contact there. So, he's not going to be very happy with that. He should get it. Yeah, he'll get a couple more tries if he needs to. So, everybody out on track, bar 3 people. Just checking chat, etc., getting a little bit of food into me. And, yeah, indeed, we have 3.5 minutes remaining of this session. And I'm really looking forward to the race, because this will be the first time I can actually see a league race when I can see the start, which is great. Now we're looking at Matteo, 9th quickest currently. He's 0.2 of a second off of the man in 8th, which is Alessio in the Acura. He's gone a little bit twitchy into that section. He's definitely got to run wide there. That's not going to be the optimum line for him, so that might have cost him some time. Let's watch him through Sector 3 here. It's pretty much a series of deceivingly tight hairpins. And we'll watch him as he taps the brake. Let's just let it run through, down a gear. I don't think he's going to be too happy with this lap, but we'll see. Let's see if he's definitely just lifting slightly, but he hasn't taken his foot off the accelerator. As we have actually working telemetry, would you believe? So here comes Matteo across the line. Can he get himself any further up the grid? No, he cannot. 2 minutes remain. Madike, can he do anything? Can he just get that small bit he needs to get himself into pole position? Well, I think Ferrelli has given up, so he won't start on pole. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get out and across the line for a lap, depending on how far his box is away. We got a car way off in the grass there, actually, I just noticed. There's a car way, way off in the gravel trap there. It looked like a McLaren. No, it's actually an Audi in the background there. That was Marcos. He's doing a bit of grass cutting in that alright there on that very low splitter. An Acura comes flying up the inside of him there. So I did neglect to notice that Hayo managed to pop himself into 5th. So he's only 2/10 of a second off. Oh god, now I'm getting stuff caught in my throat. Hold on. Yeah, maybe not, don't eat popcorn while trying to commentate at the same time. Alright, got some water, we're back. So Hayo, yeah, he's managed to get himself up into 5th, but it shows you how little of a margin there is. So this will be driver's last chance to get across the line and get a lap in. Ibrich has pretty much said, I'm okay with what I've done. So let's see, can Matty just get himself just half a wheel arch is all he needs in front of Ibrich. That's all he needs to get himself onto pole position. But then again, it's been a while since we saw Ibrich on pole position, if at all. So it would be nice to see somebody different up at the top of the grid. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's 2/10 of a second down, unless he can pull something ridiculous in the last sector. But yeah, so actually, Sig just pointed out something to me. 12 cars are within a second of each other. Actually, 13 are within a second of each other. That is actually madness. That shows how evenly matched everything is. Qualifying is complete. Drivers have 2 minutes to finish their laps. Madikek, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So it looks like it's going to be Ibrich on pole position for the first time in a long time. And Ferrari will start 3rd. He's given up on that. Hayo is up in the first sector. He's up by a 1/10 of a second. This could be an interesting one in the McLaren if he keeps it all nice and steady. I think he's the one to watch. He could be a dark horse here. Hayo, the German, in driving for the McLaren team, gets hard on the brakes there. That looks very, very planted on the road there. Good exit from him. Matty, he's not going to be able to do it, so it is a front row start for now. Oh my goodness me, Hayo 3/10 of a second up. This could be a pole lap if he doesn't manage to bottle in the last sector. Incredible, on board in the 650S as he comes through the final sector. Could this be an incredible last minute lap from the German in the 650S? I'm sure he's shaking in his wheel right now. Here he comes through the final sector. Can he do it? Or can he even get himself on the front row of the grid here in the Algarve and put himself on pole position for the first time in his league racing history in GT3? He comes across the line, the 650S. No, he can't, but he's so close. Oh my goodness me. 4th place and only 600 of a second off of 3rd. 7,000 of a second off of 3rd. Great lap, but not enough. That is how close it is here in the Algarve. That is incredible. He pulled it out of the bag, but it just wasn't enough. That has to be one of the most incredible qualifying I've ever seen, apart from maybe Imola Formula C. But that is, wow. Four cars within a 1/10 of each other. We still have the race to go. So this is madness. So there's confirmation. Ibrich, Madikek, Ferrari, Hayo, Idvergets, Pancho, Marcos, Lonnie, Alessio, Matteo, and I don't know after that because I can't see. Well, history. We're gazing down at the starting grid. Drivers have about 2 minutes to get themselves set and ready before we go to lights out for the first time on Project Cars 2 in GT3. Let's hope we don't have any disqualifications off the line here. I'm getting really excited. No formation lap, because the formation lap is kind of broken. We are seeing live telemetry on the side here. Here, popping up on the screen is the little scrolling machine that shows the live positions of the first. Well, it's actually kind of broken. It is kind of broken though, because Pirelli is after Hayo, so we'll go with it. But can we get some hype in the chat for the first round of GT3? 35 laps of the Algarve circuit. And it is Ibrich facing out towards turn 1 with the McLaren of Matacake next to him. Pirelli third. Hayo in 4th position in the McLaren. Id Forgets in 5th. Pancho will line up 6th, followed by Marcos in 7th. Lonnie in 8th. Alessio 9th. Matteo in 10th. Old Rome 11th, Hiker in 12th, Jacopo in 13th, Madman Sam 14th, and lining up last is Pete Bibb in the Renault RS01. We're almost ready for lights out here. Drivers just getting themselves set. Ibrich running a lot of fuel, 105 litres of fuel, so maybe just a quick top up towards in the middle. Pirelli, let's watch him off the start line. Could he pull a Sebastian Vettel and go between the two of these? We'll see. Matacake has the inside line, of course, into turn 1. But here we go. We're almost ready. And we're getting the sinking message. No, we're not sinking. But here we go. The 5 red lights come on for the first time. It's lights out and away we go. It's a great start from Matty off the line. He's going to be leading into turn number 1. Yes, he is. He pushes Ibrich out. Great start from Hayo, 3rd position already. Ibrich is dropped down to 2nd. Hayo 3rd. Pirelli down in 4th. He's going to have the Pancho coming up his inside here. Alessio making contact with one of the BMWs there. But it is an excellent start from Matty, who's going to be leading into out of the turn 1. There's contact made there. And they're going to go sideways. And Pirelli has made a pile up in the middle of the car there. That is not how he wanted. It's getting a little bit messy in the middle. But he's down to 6th. Hiker there, Jacopo just behind him in 10th, so it is an excellent start. That's what he wanted. Actually, Hayo's managed to get past Ibrich. It is a McLaren 1-2. I didn't think I'd say that. Ibrich cutting back though here. As we watch him coming past, he's going to be trying to get in front of the McLaren as Pete Bibb gets himself out from last. Hiker has dropped back to the back actually, and it looks like Madman Sam is out already. So Pancho is already starting to hound the back of Hayo. It's a great start from the Honda. Well, I say Honda, it's actually Acura. But fantastic start from Matty as he runs through the top of the hill here. Hayo jumping from 3rd, but Pirelli's had a terrible start, down in 6th. Lonnie followed by Pete as he runs wide there. And down at the back is actually Marcos. Oh, we've got a car off there. That's a Porsche going off as he comes back on track and spins right in front of Matteo. That is Jacopo, who has spun the car. He gets it going again, but that's not what he wanted on the first lap here. So it's been an absolutely chaotic first lap. But leading after lap 1 is Matacake. But here comes... Oh, we've actually had Ibrich come in the pit lane. And Matacake. So what's going on here? Now that's interesting, but Hayo will now lead. Pancho 2nd, followed by It Forgets. Pirelli now up to 4th. Are these drive-through penalties? We'll see in due course. But in that case, Ibrich has actually managed to ghost through him. So that's a cheeky way of overtaking, I guess. Pancho will now try and follow the slipstream of the McLaren. And Alessio, followed by Lonnie there in the R8. Good start from him. But Pete, I think, is the big jumper here. He came from 15th on the grid to 7th. Old Rome in 8th now, with Hiker just behind him as Old Rome goes for a dive down the inside if he can. But no, he's going to lose out to the M6 of Hiker. Let's see if he can cut back. No, he can't. But there's good pace in that Porsche there. I think he will get him. He'd come up the inside into the left-hander, and there's going to be contact made. So Pete maybe not noticing he was there, but the pace, he kind of surprised him. So Old Rome will try again. And he's now got a Ferrari hounding the back of him now. That's Matteo making his way through. As the M6 starts to have a look up the inside of the Porsche here. This is a great little squabble down the back here. In about 7th down to 10th. As the Porsche looks up the inside. And there's contact made. And bang! So that's not what we wanted there. Pete has lost out there, but he's dropped back right behind the Ferrari, and he's going to have Marcos in 11th there, as the Ferrari, as Matteo goes up the inside of Hiker. Nice move there. Hiker noticed him and gave the space, so good racing from him there. But yeah, we have to say Matteo and Ibrich are down the back now, and I believe that could have been drive-throughs that they had. So interesting stuff there, but they are both of them down the back, and Matty Cake has got in front of him once again, but they now have a big job to try and catch these guys once again. As look at the spread as we go down here, as Matteo goes past the Porsche right there, down the back, and there's big contact made as he turns in, and that's let Hiker come through. That's a huge crash involving the Porsche there. My goodness me, that is a big accident for the Porsche there. That was, I don't know who hit him actually, as Matty's losing the back end now. So, I think, was that Matteo losing the back end once again? Yes, it was, and there's more contact made. What is this? What is going on in this chaotic first corner? I think it was a chain reaction. One led to the other. And now, Matty has now got to get past one of the Porsches here, and I actually think Ibrich has managed to do it beforehand, and his teammate will surely let him through. Here comes Matty up the inside of Jacopo, and there's contact made again with the Ferrari and the McLaren there. So that is Ibrich who got caught up in that once again. So these guys are having a hard time getting through, these guys. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know what happened to my voice either. But, oh, and he's lost it. Ibrich, I think, was that Ibrich? No, it was Matteo who lost it at the top of the hill. So guys are starting to get a little bit unsettled about what happened. Need to settle back into their rhythms. As Ibrich now starts to hand the back. Where is Ferrelli? That's a good question. Where's Ferrelli? There he is. He's following behind Id Forgets, and he's about just under a second behind him. And you can see the top four in one shot there. Ibrich is all over the back of Matty here. But these guys are probably going to be working together slightly to get themselves back up the field. I would have to assume that it was a jump start for the both of them that made them have to come in so early. But, well, it could have been damage either. And into the pits comes the Porsche of Old Rome as I get more popcorn stuck in my throat. Excuse me. I should probably stop eating. Ferrelli now starting to hand the back of the BMW here. And Ibrich, he's not trying to pass him. Well, he is actually. He's trying to try and launch it up the inside. Matty Cake covers that really well. Gets a little twitch on the way out. You can see how close they're running. You can see the internal workings of that McLaren engine there. You can see already trying to go defensive down to the hairpin here. Maybe try a lunge on the brakes now. Definitely too far back there. So they're being sensible. Drivers now starting to settle in after that chaos. You could call it. Pirelli is definitely a little bit closer now to the back of It Forgets. Ibrich maybe dropping back slightly from the back of the McLaren. And yeah, Mavan Sam is out. Old Rome is in. Marcos is in. And It Forgets has lost the position to Pirelli actually. He is in third. Yeah, he has definitely lost it. So Pirelli now in a podium position. And Marcos is actually going to lose a lap now because of how long his stop is taking. But he can, it's a very, very long stop there. Definitely damage. But Matty and Ibrich now back up to 8th and 9th. And they're 5 seconds behind the BMW of Hiker. We're looking, that is the 488 that he is driving, by the way. He forgets doing a good job here. Doing a good job in the M6. His teammate, of course, is Hiker the Swede. But if you've forgotten, Hayo is leading this Grand Prix. He started 5th. Poncho, absolutely brilliant from him. He's now in 2nd, and that is the Porsche getting lapped. Pirelli, good start in 3rd. It Forgets has lost 1 position after that. He's now in 4th. Alessio, good start from him in 5th. Lonnie is up to 6th. And Hiker's now up to 7th, as we said, and he's now getting caught quickly by the McLaren of Matty Cake and the Ferrari of Ibrich. With Pete, I think, is now 10th. With Jacopo would be 11th, followed by Old Rome, who's now a lap down. And Marcos will also be a lap down, with Madman Sam the only retirement from this Grand Prix. So, interesting stuff in the first 5 laps. We've got 35 laps to go. Well, no, I don't say 35 laps to go. I've got about 30 laps to go. But Ibrich going quickly. Just following Matty. Knows that it's better for them to just use each other to catch back up to the field than it is to battle. Well, I know they're not teammates, but maybe just using each other a little bit here. But if they can catch back up to the top of the field, maybe then they can have a battle. But then again, I might be wrong. It Forgets is now back on the back of Ferrelli. He's actually caught up to him a slight little bit here. So it'd be interesting to see a BMW overtaking a Lamborghini. Not something you say very often. But now Pancho is now 6 seconds behind Hayo. So there's definitely been something going on there. And I think maybe, yeah, they're just exchanging lap times. Jackpo comes in. But, yeah, Ibrich and Matty, they're matching each other virtually for lap times at the moment, as far as I can see. They're not gaining and they're not losing. Let's see if It Forgets can do anything with this Lamborghini here of Ferrelli. His teammate's missing today, and Jacopo, the team, are staring at the car in wonder, and I think they've forgotten what they're supposed to do. But it is kind of a thing that the animations kind of stop, and you kind of just stay there in the box for a while. Lonnie's doing an excellent job. Let's see how far they're right behind Hiker now, as far as I can see. Yeah, there's Hiker, and there are the two boys, Maddie and Ibrich. If you'd like to watch the start again, then you can go back another 6 laps. Very, very interesting start. But Lonnie, I think he's catching Alessio, as far as I can see. Yes, indeed he is. The R8, I would assume, would definitely have a little bit more pace in it than the Acura. You can see, just running virtually nose to tail, Ibrich and Matty, and they've definitely caught up to Hiker. So maybe Ibrich could use Hiker as an advantage to get past Matty. We'll see how that goes. So, Hayo has lost a lot of time to Pancho. I'm not sure what's happened there as Ibrich goes down the inside of the McLaren. They're changing positions, and Ibrich now can go chasing after Hiker here. But he does run wide, so Matty perhaps caught napping there, trying to catch up. But I'm not sure what happened to Hayo. He's now only 2 seconds ahead of Pancho. But we'll keep an eye on that gap, of course. But there is Ibrich chasing after the Swede of Hiker in the M6. I'm sure it shouldn't be too hard for these guys. You can see how much pace he's able to carry in comparison to the M6 as Hiker loses it, and Ibrich takes advantage and goes straight through. And Matty will see if he can do it. No! Hiker shuts the door in his face, and Matty now launches one up the inside. Hiker does not defend too hard here, and that means that they can go straight through into 7th and 8th position. Hiker knew he couldn't really fight as Matty's actually lost the back end there, so now Hiker can go straight back through again. And let's see, Matty should have a better way through as Madman Sam disconnects, causing a lag spike. Hiker actually lets him back through, so very nice of him there. Perhaps had to give the position back. As we know, the penalty system is kind of broken on this game, but that means he's lost a good bit of chunk of time to Ibrich. He's now 2 seconds behind, and Ibrich is now 9 seconds behind Alessio in, I should say, Lonnie. Hayo still leads this Grand Prix, but as you can see, his lap time last time around was very slow, so he's obviously had a problem. But he's now getting that time back. It Forgets still following behind Ferrelli. You can see how close they are for lap times. And you can see that they're actually quicker than Pancho. Half a second quicker than Pancho. So you can maybe see those guys catching up. There he is. There's a Porsche in the middle of it. And There is Lonnie, 3 seconds adrift of Alessio. He's not as quick, but he will get caught very quickly by the Ferrari of Ibrich. They are within 0.02 of a second of each other in regards to lap time here, are these two. As we're riding on board with the Lamborghini here, as he chases after the Acura of Pancho. So very, very interesting race so far. We're 8 laps in at this point in time. So not that far in, but definitely plenty of action. Jacopo going slowly. Probably about to let through the Ferrari there. That is of Ibrich, of course. And hello to Nico Zava in the chat. And Sig is saying blistering pace by Ho. Yes, indeed. He's kind of shown his race pace. There's Ibrich flashing his lights. Just to let him know that you are a lapped car. Please move out of my way. Well, not please move out of my way. Get out of my way, I would rather say. But he has pulled a nice gap over Matty right now. Jacopo moves willingly, well, not quite willingly out of the way. He hasn't moved out of the way. There he goes. Lets him through. Still running around in 13th position. And Marcos is behind him and going a lot quicker. But Hyos is setting 1:44s in race pace, which is very, very quick indeed. 0.9 of a second quicker than Pancho. Oh, and Alessio has lost the back end of that car. And Lonnie has gone through because of that. And he will now have a bright red Ferrari in his mirrors right now. So, not very, not the best thing to happen to him. Whereas Ferrari now just a second behind Pancho in the Acura. And it forgets is just in the background there, not quite as close. Drop back from Ferrari. So Ferrari has got good race pace. Always has. So now beginning to reel in the Acura NSX. So let's see then. You can see the difference in lap times, almost a second, and he's lost it. He's lost it completely in the exit, and so was it Forget. He's lost it as well. So, I'm not sure, maybe Pancho may have tried to reverse out perhaps, but that's quite interesting. Ferrari now up to P2, and let's see if he can catch Hayo at all, but it doesn't look like that because Hayo is definitely putting in very, very quick lap times indeed. Maybe so, maybe it Forgets did hit him, but we'll check if he pits for damage. Didn't quite see it on the stream there. Lonnie now up to P5. Doesn't quite have the pace to catch the guys up front. He's doing 147s. But I think now that Ibrich is closing in fast on Alessio. He's in 2 seconds behind now. And Matty still has a Porsche for company. Now, that's a lapped Porsche, of course, but he's still got it for company. I think he's just got past it, actually. So Matty, of course, started P2, took the lead into turn 1, but then they both had to pit for damage, I would assume, or perhaps drive-throughs, but we'll... And Matteo is in for his first stop, 9 laps in. So his pit crew all smartly dressed, waiting for him here. And Alessio has lost the car, of course, and he's going to let Matty through, and the Porsche perhaps... Well, the Porsche will have to move out of the way if he has to lap him again, but that puts Ibrich and Matty up to 6th and 7th. So, tyre wear perhaps starting to become a problem now, and drivers losing it very easily at the top of the hill. So Matteo, there he is, sitting in his pit box, waiting for his team to let him go. Jacopo should gain a position from this. I don't think he will actually. I think he's just been released from his pit box. Yes, he will. Although it might be quite tight. He might get out in front of him. We'll see as Jacopo comes out. He may or may not be ahead. Yes, he is ahead. So he's got into 12th position there. And he's letting the Alessio through as he chases back after Ibrich. He's not letting him go at all. And Matty has actually got in front of him. So what has happened there? So there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening here. There's just changes one after the other. So Alessio now sticking with Ibrich, and Matty's got back in front, so he can now chase after Lonnie. There's a great recovery from both of these drivers. So let's see how they get on now. Alessio, I don't think he'll have the pace to keep up with Ibrich. But now Matty's got some clear air to go chasing after the R8 of Lonnie, who is 5 seconds ahead. But I'll remind you that still leading this race by 7 seconds is the McLaren of Hio. And he's done an amazing job to get himself up into P1. So let's see, and Alessio's lost it again, and a Ferrari at the same time. Synchronized spinning right there. That is the Ferrari of Matteo, I would assume. And there is Hiker, who's going to get himself into position here. He should get himself into 8th if Alessio is going to fight back. And there's made contact. What's happened there? That is a big crash between the two of them. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm a little bit confused there. Hiker looked like he just moved over and just smacked into the side of him. We'll have to review that one perhaps, but there is Matteo, who has just let through the lapped car of Lonnie, and has there been more contact? Well, he's actually, Marcos has passed him. Yeah, Marcos has actually passed him for position, and he's moving over to, look how defensive he's going, right over to the side, maybe to look at his pit boards, not that they exist, but there you have it. Alessio is behind Hiker now. They've got going again, but they're not going to be happy with each other. Alessio especially, as far as well, we'll see. So let's see how things are progressing. Matikek is definitely catching Lonnie. He's now, as you can see, 3 seconds a lap quicker than the R8. So it shouldn't be too long before you see these guys up here. And Matteo, not had the greatest of races. He's down the back now, a lap down. But Alessio and Hiker are still going at it here, so it's good to see these guys still fighting for position. They're fighting, of course, for 8th position. And that was, I think that was Matteo getting out of the way of those guys. And let's see how they get on. Alessio taking a more aggressive line through the right-hander there, trying to get himself an advantage. And Matteo's definitely struggling there. Let's see him going deep into the corner. Big backfires off the exhaust of the BMW there. Characteristic of it. Oh, and Alessio's lost the car. His little twitch gets it going again, but he will have lost time to the car ahead. Let's see as they come through the long right-hander. Oh, and Ibrich has lost the car. He's lost it. Where is he on track? 7th position. So there's obviously been contact, perhaps between himself and Matty. Yes, there has been actually, because look at the gap between himself and Lonnie. So these guys have come to blows once again. So that is quite interesting. So no love lost at all, but Hio is in the control seat right now. 6.3 seconds ahead of the man in second, which is Ferrari, and Alessio is still trying to get himself past the Swede. And not a sweet potato. It is a man from Sweden. Hiker of Sweden, if you didn't know. And you can see Hiker going defensive. He's going to definitely gone deep there, so Alessio's going to have a good cut back on the exit. But does he have the power in that Acura? Not quite. He's trying to get himself alongside as they come through the long left-hander there, but he's not quite there. May try himself on the brakes here. Hiker still holding on for 8th position. It Forgets and Pancho now close together, so this has been developing. Look how defensive he's going, following, weaving down the straight, trying to break the toe from the BMW. And here comes Alessio trying to sweep around the outside of Hiker through the long right-hander. Can he get that done? No, Hiker holds on, but he will get the cutback on the way out of the hairpin. Perhaps no, Hiker held on well right there. So good battle between these two guys, riding in the driver's eye view here. Inside the Acura, behind the BMW. He'll get the toe down the straight, and you'll see Hiker going defensive here. Flat out through that long right-hander, and look, he's gained time already. And look, as they come down towards turn number 1, he's looking. Hiker's holding position, moves to the inside, and here we go for 8th position. Alessio down the inside. Hiker actually backs out of it beforehand, and Alessio goes into 8th position there, and It Forgets is right. So we've had one BMW pass an Acura. Let's move to another one. It Forgets moving. This is for a 3rd position here. And yes, Hiker's trying to come back here, but I think Alessio might just hold on for this one. Look how close It Forgets is getting to the back of that Acura. Gets a good exit. I don't think he's going to be quite there into the long left here. No, he's not. But he's taking a better line there. So let's see. He should get the toe down the straight. Now we know Pancho's aggressive down the straight when he comes to breaking the toe. Great shots as they come over the top of the hill here. And just to point out up front, Ferrelli is starting to reel in Hayo. He's going a little bit quicker each lap, gap down to 5.6, but let's move back to the action here for 3rd position. Not quite there for It Forgets. Both of these guys fresh out of the academy, first league race for them, and they're now battling it out for 3rd position. Pancho goes defensive into turn 2. This should give him the cutback on the way out for It Forgets. No, Pancho holds line well, and should be able to hold on before they get to the long left hairpin here, or the tight left hairpin, should I say. It Forgets, and Pancho goes defensive once again. It Forgets on the brakes. Can he get anything done? Tries to get the cutback, but Pancho holds on really well. Parks the bus on the apex, and will probably hold on for another little while. Excellent little... Yeah, Ferrelli indeed has lost more time. He's dropped about 4 seconds. This has definitely been a problem. So probably a little twitch or spin or something. And now Hayo's been losing time again, but I think that's just in the corners. It Forgets is hounding the back of Pancho, but Pancho's absorbing that pressure like a sponge. Let's see if he can get anything done at all. He'll get the toe again down the straight, but will it be enough? He's trying to mimic Pancho's line here, and it seems to have worked, although Pancho's got a good exit. But let's see who's better through this long right-hander. It looks like it's the BMW. It is definitely the BMW. Here he comes. Pancho's going very defensive, holds middle of the road here. And here comes It Forgets for 3rd position in this Grand Prix. Look at Pancho. He might give him a little squeeze towards the wall. Down the inside goes It Forgets for 3rd position. Can he get it done, or will he hold it around the outside? He'll try. He will try to hold it around the outside. He gives him the squeeze. Contact made. Good little battle. It Forgets will move to 3rd position. And can he come back? No, he can't. Good little battle from those two guys there. And It Forgets moves into 3rd position. And we're now on lap 16, but Pancho got a good exit that time. So maybe a little lunge into the hairpin. I wouldn't put it past this guy. Let's see in the Acura. Oh, It Forgets is wise to it, but he went a bit slightly deep there, and he's lost it, and spinning is the BMW. And he's lost a lot of time and spears cones everywhere across the track as we watch the amazing cone physics of Project Cars 2. That's a shame. Hiker into the pits for his stop. Let's see how he gets on. Currently running 9th. There are his mechanics waiting for him. They get set to work. And you can see the tires popping on there. Lonnie now P5. But looming in the background, 4 seconds adrift of him, is Matty. And up the road you can just see the other guys, but as if there you can see Hayo still leading this Grand Prix. Ferrelli's losing even more time. So where is he on track? There he is. So you can see his, well, I say he's losing time. 1:45.2. He's actually quicker than Hayo, but oh, big spin for Idfrageti. How has he held that together? Just about holds it. I'm sure he's surely have to come in the pits for that. He would have shredded his tires to pieces there. But no, he stays out, and that has moved Lonnie to P4 actually because of that. So now Lonnie's driving a good race. Now P4, and look who's there. It is Matty. So Matty has made a great recovery, and he's now back up with these guys. So these guys started up the front. And where's Ibrich? He's about 6 seconds behind these guys. Oh, and there's been a big crash there. Actually, that's Lonnie who's gone into the gravel trap in the Audi, and he's probably going to lose a position to Ibrich here. Ibrich is going to come through. There he is, and into 6th. So that is a shame for him. Has lost the position. So I think he's lost it in the same place again. And so I'm sure frustration setting in. But Matty now up to P4 and is now 9 seconds behind Pancho. Lonnie then, after his spin, well, Ibrich is now just behind. And we have a little battle down the back here, actually. This is Marcos and Jacopo fighting for 12th. Porsche versus Audi. A Le Mans type battle here, although not an LMP1. You can see the gears on the display aren't quite correct, but they are on the telemetry. So let's see how these two battle it out. May not be for points, but it is for pride. Let's see. Jacopo is definitely a lot slower than Marcos. Let's see how he gets on here. You can see a lot of line of cars there. That'll be lapped cars, and that's just his teammate. That's Lonnie who's just lapped him. Lights ablaze. The Audi comes over the top of the crest and tries to see if he can get past the Porsche. Let's see. And a holding station for now. But we can assume that there is a move coming very shortly indeed. That is quite a glitched camera, I must say. But it looks like damage as Jacopo goes deep into the hairpin, and that's going to give Marcos the advantage on the way out. But good traction from the Porsche to just about stay ahead there, but Marcos will have the outside line. Jacopo holds position and will just about hold on to that position for another few corners. And we're looking at Ibrich, who has now caught back up to Matty, and Matty Keggs has actually lost the position back again to Id Forgets. So something has happened here. We now have a tasty little battle for 4th position coming up shortly. And in the background, this battle is still going on. Marcos versus Jacopo. Let's keep an eye on this exciting battle. All of these guys started in the top 4, but are now fighting once again for 4th position. Hayo is in the 44 once again, 144.8. Really outclassing everybody. His race pace is excellent. Can Marcos do anything at all to get past this Porsche? I think he will. It was a bad run from the Porsche out of the last corner. We'll see. He's going slightly defensive, moving over to the right-hand side of the track, and Marcos will have the outside line into turn 1, which is not the optimum line, but if he gets a cutback, which he does, and launch one up the inside, Porsche versus Audi for 12th position. Can he get it done? No, Jacopo holds position. So good little battle for 12th here. Ibrich dropping back slightly from these guys who are battling fiercely for this 5th position. Id Forgets has actually pulled a little gap on them. Marco's still not able to find a way past, and they're actually catching up to his teammate Lonnie, who is he's 7th at the moment. So he might have to move out of the way for his teammate. Let's keep an eye on what's going on here. We're on lap 20 out of 35 here, so about 16 laps to go in this first round of GT3 live from Portugal. Broadcast brought to you by Soup Cooler and camera work done by Vectro. You can't hear him, but he is here. So Ibrich just trying to follow behind the McLaren. Marcos is still hounding the back of the Porsche here, but Jackpo's doing an excellent job to stay in front. These guys are quite a ways behind, so it is the only battle they're going to get, unless something drastic happens up the front. And here we go then. Look at Jackpo already trying to go defensive here. It was an even better run from Marcos there, so let's see. He's going to definitely try for the inside line. Jackpo definitely goes defensive, and here he comes, squeezing him, doing a Michael Schumacher up against the wall, and they've made contact, and he's trying to launch him down the inside. Not quite. Jackpo holds on, but he's going to have the cut back. They both run wide into turn number 1 here. Let's see. He's flashing his lights. He's not happy with him at all, and down the inside goes Marcos. Can he get it done? No, not quite. So absolutely tasty battle here between these two. And Marcos is going to try, and here he comes up the inside here towards the tight hairpin. He should get this move done without any problems, although Jackpo very, very good on the brakes there. So they're going to hold it, but Marcos has got the better line, and they're just going to about hold on. Matty's dropped back, actually. Ibrich has got past him up front. I'm just noticing the McLaren has dropped back, and he's now in the clutches of Lonnie. So there has been a problem there, and Ibrich is now on the back of it. Forgets, and Jackpo has lost the car there. Has there been contact between him and Marcos is the question, because Marcos, yeah, there has been indeed, because Marcos has dropped back. And it looks like he's going to have to give the position back, that's why he's slowing down. And Marcos is nowhere to be seen. It looks like a problem. Yes, Marcos has lost the car, and that's quite dangerous. Trying to get the car going again, and that looks like a retirement to me. Yes, it is indeed. Pancho comes into the pits. He's in for his stop. And Ibrich now. This will put these guys into P3 and 4. And there's Matty in the background. So plenty of mistakes from these drivers, but not from the leader. Pancho, his team say that they're ready, but they really aren't. So it forgets now, has to hold off a charging Ferrari, a charging Italian in a prancing horse. With Madike trying to close the gap again. These guys have both respectively had bad laps. And you can see it's quite slow from Ibrich through that corner. Alessio has come into the pits there for his stop. So the NSX team getting them both in within a lap of each other. He's going to need fuel. He's definitely not going to get through the rest of the race with 7.6 litres of fuel. And you can see there is getting a top up. And Ibrich has, he hasn't lost it. I thought he had, but he's definitely lost it because he lost time. Yeah, he's lost 4 seconds in the space of a corner, and it looks like there's damage on the left front. From what I can see, there's a little bit of a scratch on the front splitter. That could be aero, but we hope not. So, lap 22 out of 35. This race has passed quite quickly. Matty was quite slow to that corner, so he's definitely taking it easy. Alessio comes out behind Hiker. And now we should see the leaders perhaps coming in the next couple of laps. Hayo should be comfortably still in the lead when he comes out. Well, he'll comfortably be in second at least. He's done an excellent job. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, I was just looking at the the board there, and I just noticed It Forgets has lost 2 positions, so he's lost it, and that puts Ibrich and Maddie into 3rd and 4th, so they're now battling for a podium position. Now they're definitely too far off of the guys in front to maybe steal second and first and second, but it is going to be a tasty battle between the guys who started on the front row. Maddie tapping the grass slightly as we run through Sector 2. Trying to follow. He'll have It Forgets behind him as well, so he's going to be watching his mirrors at the same time. He'll be getting the dirty air off the Ferrari, which won't help, but it will give him a slight tow as they come to the top of the hill. Get on the brakes. Maddie trying to find a way past, but Ibrich is doing really well there. And there we go. Oh, he's laid on the brakes there. He's definitely gone deep. Let's see what he can do on the way out. He's had to kick of oversteer on the way out there. And coming through the final corner, they're not far off each other at all. Full lock as they come through, and Ibrich didn't look like he got the best run out of there, but he should have enough of a gap to stay ahead, but we'll see in due course as Maddie definitely closes up into turn number 1, and he's late on the brakes versus Ibrich. Goes a bit deep, and he'll stay ahead for now. So in reality, we haven't really got long left in this Grand Prix. We have about 12 to 13 laps remaining. And we've had 2 retirements from this race. We've had Madman Sam on lap number 1, and most recently we had Marcos retire from this race. So we still have 13 drivers running, which is, I would say, unusual. And there is the man who is controlling from the end of lap 1. Pirelli's P2, and he's done a 1:44.5. I'm sure that's fastest lap right there. Ibrich now P3, with Matty hounding the back of him in P4. It Forgets in 5th, with Lonnie 6th, and Pancho 7th, Peter 8th, Hiker 9th, Alessio 10th, Old Rome 11th, Jacopo 12th, and Matteo down the back as It Forgets has lost it once again in the BMW. So not quite happy, and you can see it's very hard to get it going. He's doing donuts. Tracks over here, It Forgets. And he may lose position to Lonnie if he's not careful. He should stay ahead. But I can see that Ibrich and Maddie are very close together as they come through. Yeah, indeed. BMWs tend to be the kind of drifty type cars, and it's showing there. Oh, Maddie has definitely gone deep there. He's trying, excuse me, he's trying to get himself late on the brakes, but it's not quite working. And Pirelli's losing even more time to first. He's now 13 seconds adrift of the man in second, or in first, should I say. So it has been a fascinating race so far today. It's definitely worthy of a season opener. It's definitely a worthy season opener. And these drivers have done extremely well. A bit messy, but we expect that from a first round. Drivers trying to just get used to racing with each other once again. And yeah, you can see Ferrari definitely had a problem. 150.4 for that last lap for him. But versus Hayo with a 144.74. Hayo is in absolute control. He's almost dominating this race. And they now have 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Matty lost some time there for definite. And Matty's He's getting some creative interpretations of track limits, you could say. Looking at Pancho, he's closed up on Lonnie. So let's see how that battle turns out. Acura versus Audi. Two cars always at the top of the list of a car list. So let's see how they get on versus each other. Let's just see It Forgets up ahead there. Oh, Matty's in the wall. Now that is surprising. He's got big damage on the front there. So he's still in fourth, but you can see the car's leaning to the right. That is a disaster for the McLaren team. They've got one driver up the front, but one driver has put that car in the wall, and he's going to have to come in for damage. That's a real shame. That should put In Forgets back up to fourth when he pits. We're now looking at a very, very interesting little battle here with the Pancho versus Lonnie, and he's got an excellent run, actually, has Pancho on the way out. And here he comes. Trying to get a cutback line. You can see running a little bit wider than the Audi there. And he has got the cutback, but just holding on is the Audi right there. And running through the flat out left up towards the Sector 2 split. Can he maybe launch up the inside here perhaps? No. But he does get a nice run out of the top of the hill there. So maybe down towards the last straight. No, he's going to launch up the inside. Down the inside goes Pancho. That'll be for sixth position. A nice move there. And that puts him up into sixth. With Lonnie now P7. Although Lonnie might have good straight line speed in this Audi. Let's see if he can come back perhaps. But now we're looking at Hiker, who's catching Peter, who's had a quiet, Pete. He's been quiet all race, P8. He started in 15th. Now, I don't think Lonnie is going to be able to get back past, I'd say, and Matty is in for damage. A real shame for him. And they haven't repaired it. They haven't repaired it at all. So, they obviously weren't ready for him, but that's a real shame. And now Hiker is fighting for P8 with the Renault versus the BMW here. Oh, good exit from Hiker there. Very, very close. You can see Hiker can carry a lot more speed. He's just getting a little bit held up by the Renault here. So the Renault looks like it isn't the car most suited to this track. Hiker's just hounding him here. And he's already alongside as they come down the pit straight. Should be an easy move for Hiker. He's already ahead as they come down to turn 1 here. And just won't maybe pull in front of him. Yes, he will. Straight line speed advantage for the BMW. And through into 8th place. But now, Alessio is now trying to get in the action as well. He's catching these guys. But Peter's had a quiet race. And Ibrich, P3 now. And pretty much secure where he is. It Forgets P4. He's quite a ways back. Pancho is there. In P5. And maybe might catch him. And he was actually a little bit quicker that previous lap. So you could see them. Matty is having a bit of a disaster. Because I don't think they repaired his damage. And now he's coming back in again. Disaster. So he obviously didn't call for a pit stop. And let's see if they're ready for him now. And yes, they are. So he didn't call for a pit stop. Just assumed they'd come out. But they didn't. And that's cost him. We're now on... He's a lap down at this point. And we're now on lap 28 out of 35. It'll be a long stop for him for that damage. Meanwhile, up the front, who's led every single lap of this Grand Prix apart from lap 1, is Hio. Ferrelli's P2, with Ibrich in P3, the man who started on pole. It Forgets P4, with Pancho P5 chasing him down. Lonnie P6. Hiker is down in P7 after getting the position off Maddie, who's in the pit lane, who's coming out of the pit lane, and is now P9. Maddie has lost position. They still don't look like they fixed it. Could be a glitch. But there's Pete in P8. Alessio is P10. And Old Rome is just behind him, actually. Is that Old Rome just behind him? It is indeed. So, Old Rome has been kind of quietly been catching up to them. And now, there's going to be a move for 9th, I would say, because Alessio is right there with Maddie. Old Rome was glitched for Vectro, apparently, and yes, Maddie is definitely struggling because Alessio is all over him. And that damage has not been fixed on that McLaren. Or it doesn't look like it's been fixed anyway. Matteo in for a second time. So probably damage. He's now 5 minutes behind us. Matty's lost it again, so an absolute disaster. Possibly even no points for him today. That is a real shame. We're on lap 29. Indeed, anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. But now we have a nice little battle. Old Rome is now gonna... Yeah, well, Old Rome is there. I can see him, so as long as I can see him, it's fine. Old Rome is pressuring the back of Alessio here in the Porsche. And Alessio, we've had a car come in, that's Pete coming into the pit lane. We could see a move here because Old Rome is definitely starting to pressure. And maybe, perhaps a lunge on the brakes from the Porsche. No. It's going to hold station for now. And Pirelli actually is starting to close in on Hio. Because Hio did a 46.9, sorry, Pirelli did a 45.3. Interesting. Well, Pete is in the pit lane. And Ibrich is running around 42 seconds behind Pirelli. But you can see Pirelli's closing in very quickly, so maybe Hio's doing fuel saving because he must be coming in this lap. I would have to guess. No, actually, maybe just had a bad lap, but his fuel is fine from what I can see. He's on lap 30 out of 35, and there his lap times have returned 45.3 for him. So just a bad lap from him. And the out comes out Pete in P12. It forgets he's 11 seconds behind Ibrich now. And Pancho doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch him. He's just a tenth of a second slower than the man there. There is Lonnie in P6. He had a good race today. And Hiker has actually put on a little bit of a show today, so it's good to see him battling away down there. He's in P7 right now. Let's take a swig of water. Alessio. Is he still being hounded by a Porsche? Yes, he is. So, these guys are battling for P8 at this point in time. And he is having to defend very hard from Old Rome. He's been kind of running round about the back, but he's now fighting for points as Alessio kind of lost the back end a little bit there. We're now coming up to lap 31 out of 35, so we're closing in on the end of this Grand Prix. If you are enjoying, make sure to leave a like in the stream, and please do let me know your driver of the day in the stream chat. Yeah. Well, I can see he's still there, hounding him. And he's not quite able to get in front of him at this point in time. So we will, of course, keep an eye. There is Pirelli in P2. He's now 9 seconds behind. He is catching. He caught him by a second that lap. So his fuel is absolutely fine. 33.8 litres of fuel, easily to the end for him. Versus Hyo, 17 will get him to the end, of course, but perhaps starting to struggle on his tyres. Because these guys, as far as I can see, haven't stopped. So Pancho, is he closing in? No, not really. He's there or thereabouts, but he's not. But then again, Hyo can afford to lose a second of lap because it won't affect him in the outcome. Alessio is still staying ahead of the Porsche. And there is Matty, still struggling around in his battered McLaren, still fighting for the final points paying position. And Jacopo running around in P11, 40 seconds off his teammate. And Pete there, he's about to get lapped again by Ferrari. And Matteo looks like he's just had a little spin, but he's got going again. It's a shame. He was right up there. And we had an instant on lap 1. We'll watch it back once again. We are now on lap 32 out of 35. It is now 20 past 10 in GMT. It'll be almost, well, it'll be 20 past 11 for Vectro, so it's getting late. Or it is late. It's almost the next day. But yeah, it's been a great season opener for the GT3. I wonder how Group B has got on. I'll ask about them in a little while. That coverage, of course, is provided by Evil and directed by... Oh, who's he direct? I've actually forgotten who he's getting directed by. Oh, of course, yeah, the new guy, Sea Liker, of course. And now we've got a three-way battle for the for 8th position, because Matty has caught back up to Old Rome, who is there. Just Vector can't see him, but he is there. So Alessio has now got a little bit of breathing space, but now Matty is beginning to hound the back of a Porsche. I'll probably get hated for saying Porsche and not Porsche. Germans will get really annoyed. Here comes Matty, trying to get one up the inside of the Porsche here. And should be a nice easy move for him. Down the inside goes Matty, and Vector has disconnected. And Old Rome disconnected as well, so there's been a problem there. You might be able to get back. Yeah, because I'll just be staring at Matty until then. So Matty can now chase after. That'll be Alessio in P8. The good old Project Cars connection problems never went away. Matty's definitely close, and he's launching up the inside already. Alessio's led him through. And Vectro is back. Thank you. Whew. Are you still set as director? At least should be able to spectate. Well, I mean, I guess it's not as bad as the time Evil couldn't see anything at all what was going on. He was just staring at the grid. Well, we're on lap 33 of 35, almost coming up to lap 34. There isn't really much going on. Matty has got himself back into P8. Could have been fighting for that win, but was not to be today. Perhaps further on in the championship. No. Right. So, looks like we're just going to be staring at Matty for the rest of the stream. Because I can't, Yeah, so Old Rome disconnected and also brought Vector with him. Well, we're on lap 34. I can't. I can only see Maddie at the end, so sorry, not our fault. It's just I can't move the cameras because Vector was director, and the broadcaster can't move the cameras, which is could be it is a problem in some cases, like this one. But it's almost at the end of the race anyway. We shouldn't worry too much. At least it didn't happen midway through. But Pirelli has set fastest lap with a 1:44.3. Yeah. But I think it's too little too late, because Hayo will be starting his last lap very shortly. He should be coming around the last sector now. But yeah, indeed, Pirelli, he's putting in a last lap surge of pace, but it's just not enough, because I think coming through the last corner now will be Hayo to start his final lap here in the Algarve in Portugal. GT3 round 1. So Maddie's getting plenty of airtime, but then again, he is only no, they're not. Just checking the split times between It Forgets and Pancho. Well, I guess Maddie's actually kind of closing in on Hiker. He's only 2 seconds away, but I think it's just going to be too little too late for him. Last lap for Hayo. He has begun. And I mean, it's just been a sheer domination from Hayo, the German. Dominated Academy, and going to open the season with a victory in GT3 season 4 round 1. And it's maybe a sign of things to come. Perhaps it won't be a Ferrari B domination this year. We've had a different winner in the first round, and that is really cool to see. So if we look in the background of Maddie, we might see him coming through the final corner or across over the crest. No, we won't actually. That's Ibrich, I think. So we won't be able to see Hayo's victory, unfortunately. But just know that we know. You'll see the little checkered flag coming up on the screen here. I think he's coming through the last corner right now on the track map here. Second to last corner for him. Oh, Matty has a bit of a twitch there. He's getting loads of airtime now. So coming through the final corner to across the line, Hayo will win the opening round of the GT3 season of GAVRA Racing. Fantastic victory for him. I was not expecting him. Started 5th and will win in the Algarve. Incredible. Pirelli, great drive. P2 for him. And Ibrich is a long way behind, but he will come back to finish in 3rd. So an excellent, excellent race, I have to say. I will be watching this one back. I'm sure, well, Evil's probably, hopefully he makes the highlight reel. Because that's what he said he'll do. So, it'll be lots of highlights for him here. But it is Hayo who will lead the championship now. And an awesome victory. Matty will come across the line. We're going to see him cross the line in P8 here. A shame. Could have been better. Hiker is going to have a huge accident across the line in front of him. Has he crossed the line? No, he hasn't. Oh my goodness me! Jesus Christ is all I can say. Oh my god. Oh, Mateo just gets through. Hiker just about finished in front of him. I think I'll leave the stream there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope these guys are okay, but thank you very much for watching GT3 season round 1. See you again next week for for round 2. Oh god. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.